I've never actually done a stream before, but I thought it'd be fun today just to kind of live stream my work. I think I'm going to start doing this a lot more frequently, just kind of like when I'm working on things, either for clients or personal projects. Hop on the live stream. This way I have more content. You guys can see what the process like really looks like, trying to like build stuff piece by piece, trying to troubleshoot, problem solve. Sometimes things will go well, sometimes they won't. This is kind of the nature of AI and automations. Today, I just want to do something which I think should be relatively simple while I'm sitting here on my couch. Basically, I started creating this like massive library of ChatGPT prompts. There's 1,285 items right now. Basically, they're all kind of like broken out into, let's see, um, so you can already see, let me see, like this is going, create a comprehensive ChatGPT prompt for finding the best tools. They kind of have the prompt, the outcome. So basically like what it means for the user, like the user will receive a helpful guide that lists and explains the best AI tools for analyzing data. And then it'll create like an example output. So best AI tools is kind of like, we'll create a table. Here's how to use these tools and an example project. And so basically the way I, wanted to do this, I started doing this because I want to put together like a really valuable resource for all of you. And I think it's great to have the prompts, which is one thing, but then it's also really nice to have like, what you're going to get, how you're going to use this prompt. And I think eventually I'm going to turn this into some sort of like searchable app where basically you can tell it your problem. It'll give you like a prompt that's already kind of like proven and we know works. It's already like structured really nicely. You can see the outcome, the example output, and a few tips. It'll probably give you like a 4, 5, 6 like different prompt options to choose from that you can copy and paste into Claude or ChatGPT. And really, I have a lot of prompts and outcomes and examples. And basically, I built these workflows to do this. I'm going to kind of show you what these do. But today, the last thing that's really missing from this list is topics and categorization. These aren't categorized into anything. I don't have any options yet. And so like when you're coming and you want to either look through or search through the database, I think it'll be really helpful to know like what the prompts are about, and it'll just help the system to categorize them too. So that way it can kind of like filter out topics that are not relevant to this query and so on. So that's kind of like my thinking around this. But basically, I already have a ton of prompts, the outcome, the examples, the tips, things like that. There's so many here. I mean, obviously with the system, there's some errors you can see. Again, this doesn't always work perfectly, right? Like we can see there are like some blank fields and things like that. But generally, this is working pretty well. And so I guess I'll show you first kind of like how I originally set this up. And then I'll just kind of, I'm going to start, I don't know, like hacking together just a way to kind of categorize these prompts, and hopefully we'll test it out and we'll see if it works. And so the first thing I was doing is, I don't know if you follow me on TikTok or not, but TikTok, basically a lot of my content is ChatGPT prompts, how to use it for ChatGPT, side hustles, the best resume prompt, ChatGPT prompts to build wealth. Also, make ChatGPT your personal assistant, or how to learn anything. 7 ultimate ChatGPT prompts that should be blacklisted. This one did almost 800,000 views. So that's kind of been my bread and butter on TikTok. And I've like already shared a lot of prompts, and I just like hadn't saved them anywhere. And so I was like, I should probably save these prompts. And so basically I have a Google Drive folder that basically I had all my videos, and then I had also extracted the audio. I converted them just to MP3. And so what I basically did here is I used this little automation to grab all the MP3 files, transcribe the recordings with this little ChatGPT node, and then classify it. So basically, this text classifier would scrape the recording, and we can see if it's categorized as a ChatGPT prompt. The text contains one or more ChatGPT prompts, meaning clear instructions, questions, or requests written for an AI assistant. A prompt is typically a standalone sentence or block meant to elicit a response from ChatGPT. So it's either a video about prompts, or occasionally I'll make content that are not about prompts, and this is basically just saying like, all right, it either is a prompt or it doesn't contain prompts. If it does contain prompts, basically I have this little extractor which is connected to the transcribed recording. All this does is it's going to analyze the transcript and it's to clearly locate and extract any embedded ChatGPT prompts, no matter how many it is, right? So basically, it's just whether I'm using casual conversation or I'm using the prompt. The goal is to output the prompts, just like prompt 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I have like 7 prompts. So basically, this just looped through and would grab all the prompts. And then from there, I would split them out because it would create an array. I'd split them out into like 7 different objects or 5 different objects, how many prompts there are. And this is kind of the like data creator. This is the thing that would analyze the prompt, then it would determine the outcome, analyze what a user would receive from this transcript. So the format, the main purpose, the categories, and then create the example, and then providing tips for usage. So sometimes it's like, oh, like people are always like to me, like, how does it know anything about me? And sometimes like in this tips thing, it's like, yeah, like you need to give it some context, like tell ChatGPT, give it your resume if you want it to improve your resume, right? Like you need to give some information to go on, like just putting a prompt in alone doesn't always work. So want to provide some helpful tips, things like that. And then the output format, so that we can basically in turn extract the prompts, extract those fields and then save it back in the Airtable database. So that's kind of how the transcription one worked. Here, I did basically the same process, except I use some of my own prompts and I use prompts that I found on the internet. Like other people have tons of prompt resources. So I just wanted to grab a bunch of those and basically I would do the same thing, right? I'd extract the prompt, but then I'd come up with like an outcome, the example, and any extra tips. And this kind of just like did the same process, just using a different file format. So a lot of these were like in Markdown format or .md format. And so I was just extracting that. And then the last thing here is this output cleaner, which I think was working for me. Like sometimes I would just get weird. I actually went through and I already did this, but I'd get weird things. Like you can see it here. I haven't gone through the prompts yet. And like you get all this markdown formatting, like these hashtags or things like that. Or sometimes you get these stars, which are like make it italic or make it bold. And like that's just like wasting space. And like oftentimes it just like looks ugly. Like if it uses markdown excessively, I'm trying to find like a better example. Like here, like this, like it doesn't need these asterisks, right? It doesn't need 3 hashtags and 2 asterisks. Like this is just like, this is ugly. And so I just wanted to create like a little cleaner that would basically go through and clean that data up. And it basically just says like, remove that formatting and then kind of like, spit it back out, right? Reformat the provided text word for word with proper line breaks and formatting and plain text, no markdown, no asterisks, no quotes or double quotes. And so that's what that was today. And so I think what I want to do today is something pretty simple. I think it'll largely be based off of this little output cleaner. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this. And I think this is just going to be, what did I say I was going to do? Topic categorizer. So the first thing I want to do is I need to figure out what topics I'm going to use. And I normally would use ChatGPT for this. I've unfortunately been locked out of my ChatGPT account. I won't go into the details. And then, so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to have Claude come up with like 10 different topics that these could possibly be categorized in. If I can figure out how to, okay, wait, export. I literally always forget where the download CSV thing is. It's in this little grid view. See how many arrows there are? There's an arrow here, there's an arrow here, there's an arrow here, and there's an arrow here. And like none of these, and like these 3 dots don't include it. This one doesn't include export. Like, I don't know why it's hidden in this grid view, but that's how you download the CSV right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop into Claude and I'm going to upload the CSV. This is kind of just how I'm going to get started. Let's go here and okay, great. ChatGPT prompts grid view. I'm just going to say I've uploaded a CSV that contains a bunch of ChatGPT prompts. Analyze the, I'd say prompt column only. And then we'll say your task is to determine 10. Should we do 10? Should we do 20 topics? How many topics do we even think are in here? Let's start with 20. Determine 20 topics. Maybe we can actually have it output like multiple topics at the end. So why don't we say 20 topics? Your task is to determine 20 topics that these prompts could possibly fit into. Things like finance or health or what else, like side hustle, etc. And so let's just see what this comes up with. And so basically I want to try to create as many topics as I can. And then I'm going to take these topics and we'll feed it back into the N8N automation. So this is analyzing the CSV file, it looks like. So basically I'm thinking what I can do there is, let me see how this is set up here. Topic, is this a single drop down field? So this is a single select. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do multiple select field. And I don't have any options in here yet. I'm just going to save this because I'm hoping that I'll be able to update the table with multiple options once this is done analyzing. And so I'll build out this N8N workflow. Basically, it'll search for a record. And I think I'm just going to remove this formula in this case because it can return all of them. I'll limit it to 100 for now. This is basically set to loop over the items. I just do batches of 10, which just kind of saves the system some processing. And so it's not just like running through like 100 records or 500 records or 1,000 records all at once. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to update the system prompt. And so basically, again, like I could use Claude for this. I'll just open another Claude tab. Like this is kind of how I use AI to help with this. So like I'll just say I need a prompt for an AI agent. Its task is to read and understand a block of text and then categorize it. So then I'll give some more context. The incoming text will be a AI prompt for an LLM like Claude or ChatGPT. The task is to understand the main themes or concepts of the prompt and what it's designed to accomplish, something like that. And then identify up to 5 topics that the prompt can fit into. The agent will also be given a list of 20 potential topics to choose from. Let's do something like that. Okay, so here we go. Great, so here are 20 topics categorized. So this one's done, right? Analyze this big ass CSV that I have: business strategy, personal development, passive income, project management, professional communication, content creation, marketing, advertising, career development, technology, and AI. This is great. I will keep these kind of like this. And then I'm also going to say split out just the topics without descriptions on their own. This will just make my life easier to copy and paste, I think. Great. So I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to start. I know this part's going to be like probably fairly boring to watch, but that's okay. This is part of the process, right? All right, business strategy. We got one. Let's go. Personal development. Somebody probably knows a faster way to do this. I didn't even tell anybody I was live streaming today. Literally the first time I've ever done a live stream. Don't know if this is cool or interesting. I actually don't even know if this is working, if people can see this. But that's okay. So passive income, project management. It's going to be tedious for a bit. Probably should like turn down some music or something so that I didn't have to talk this entire time. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to do this for a few minutes. I'm going to stop talking because it's probably annoying. So I'll be back. You can just watch me do this for a minute. Oh, I know what I can do. Nobody actually knows about this. Let's see. So a while back, I had started this like lo-fi music channel, all driven by AI. 38 subscribers, baby. 111 videos. I basically created this channel just to see if I could do it. So I was basically auto-generating lo-fi music tracks. And then I was using Midjourney to generate an image. And then I was using the NCA toolkit from Stephen G. Pope, if you don't know him, to kind of like merge the image with the track together and output a video. And then also I have some of these kind of like longer compilations. And so I was using his basically system to what they call it concatenate, kind of like put videos end to end. But so now while I'm doing tedious work, you can hear. So this is all AI generated lo-fi music, Midjourney generated image. Kind of cool, kind of good vibes. So I'll just let this play for a minute while I finish up these prompts. think I actually recorded a tutorial about how I made the lo-fi music site, but then whatever API I was using stopped allowing me to create. It was like the Suno Music API, and I was going through something. It stopped letting me do that, and so I never released a tutorial. It came out pretty cool, and then also there must have been an easier way to do this. I think I probably could have processed the files locally, but like I'm not a dev, so I don't really know how to do that. And so I was processing them through the Google Cloud server, and I was like uploading and storing a bunch of files through Google, and it was like it became really freaking expensive. I was spending like $100 or $200 a month just to do it. So I stopped doing it because this I definitely did not get enough traction on the channel to offset those costs, and it was just like really expensive. So I was like, okay, I should probably not do this. Cool. So let's see. This kind of released this prompt now. AI prompt categorization agent task. You're a specialized AI agent tasked with analyzing and categorizing AI prompts intended for large language models like Claude or ChatGPT. Your job is to read and thoroughly understand the provided prompt, identify the main concepts of purpose, select up to 5 most relevant topics from the provided list of 20 potential topics, explain your reasoning, yada yada. Here are the instructions. Select 1 to 5, provide a brief 1 to... No, I think I don't need to. Like, I don't need this. I don't need these, right? I just want it to give me one of the answers. In the following structure, I don't need this. So I'm just gonna tell it I don't need that. And then here are the topics it can choose from. It should update this, and here are the topics it can choose from. I'll let this finish. So the prompt is asking task. Consider what domain. Prompt targeting. 5. Present your analysis in the following structure. I don't need this prompt summary. I also don't need this. I literally just need. I don't need a purpose or summary. It just needs to output the selected topics. And I actually don't know. I don't know what format. Like, does it need to be an array in order to... I'll just open up another window. I have a list of topics being generated. I need all the topics to be inserted into an Airtable multiple select field. What format do they need to be in? An array? Question mark. Format as comma separated string. Interesting. Okay. Like literally. Incorporate these formatting requirements. Literally just copy paste, right? This is just to give it an idea. So now we can hopefully have something in the right format to be used inside of Airtable. So hopefully once it outputs this, it should be good. The categories, here's topic selection. Great. Let's give it a go. So I can do this and prompt to analyze. I'm just going to do, I'm literally just going to return 1 for now. For most prompts. I'm just going to test this one step. Okay, that's cool here. And the prompt to analyze. I probably have a manual trigger somewhere here. You're only allowed 1 manual trigger per workflow. Not entirely sure why. But that's what the deal is. Okay, that's okay. Cool. Let's see. Based on all our conversations, what are some more interesting projects we've worked on? Actually, this is really cool. If you have a ChatGPT Plus account and you've used the memory features, like ask it this based on all our conversations, what are some of the more interesting projects we've worked on? Or I've also tried asking it like, what am I the best in the world at? That gives you like a really cool response. Try that. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Cool. So let's give it a go. I also think okay, that's probably fine. Cool. Project management, content creation, creative entertainment. Were these actually part of the categories? Content creation, career development, personal strategy. I just don't remember seeing like creative entertainment. Yeah, so don't. Oh, here it is. Creative entertainment. It is there. I just want to make sure. Does this say choose up to 5 relevant topics from the list of topics below? Selected topics must come from the list. Just to make it like super clear. And then here, update record. This is still linked up to how I had it before. So this is going to match the ID. I don't need to update the prompt anymore. The status, and maybe I'll just add a status field. I literally added the status field just so I could keep track of what was happening. I actually don't need to add it because I'll know if the topics have been updated because there'll be a topics field in there. So whatever status. So topic. So I should just be able to come out here and do this. Test step. Expects an array, but we got, okay. So literally just copy and paste this. I know there's always some weird formatting stuff. So I'll go like this. Got this error. So here's the error. And then I'll also just and then the more details you can give it, the better. So if I come in here and I can go into topic, and I can literally just like screenshot this also. So basically can just like understand the flow, right? Input the settings and the output. And so it'll just kind of like analyze that info. Expecting an array format for the topic field, we're providing a comma separated string. For Airtables, I need to provide an actual array format. So literally if I just because it expects JavaScript, try modifying your expression to convert the string into it looks like the same just with brackets. Like I'm curious if I just like hard code in the brackets, like if that'll change it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Interesting. Okay, cool. That looked like that worked. So let me just pop back in here. I just had the last modified time. If I go up to the top, cool. Topic: project management, creative entertainment, content creation. Easy, right? That was awesome. So that works. And so now, like, let me just like, whatever. Let me increase this to 20. Let me save this, and like this should run through in batches of 10. What am I using? I'm using GPT-4o Mini because it's cheap and small. So now if I run through this, basically it's going to pull in 20 records. It's going to loop through. If I zoom in here, you can see batches of 10 at a time. Here we go. It's categorized 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it should update every record inside of Airtable. And now everything is like super nicely categorized. That's pretty cool. So up to 5 categories. Do we think that's enough? I don't know. Let me in the comments. Let's see. Input for topic. Okay, so we had an error. Expects an array, but we caught based on the provided prompt. Various aspects. Oh, okay. So it gave me like, did it give me like this weird output? Yeah, like based on the provided prompt, it encompasses various. So like, I don't want that. So output. Oh, and actually, what I should do here is, how do I do the field is not empty, or like topics is empty. I need the Airtable formula to search for topics field that is empty. So I don't want it returning. No, I don't think that's right. I think it's probably this one. Double quotes. Let's see. Topic field is. Nope. Oh, maybe the field is not called topics because it's just called topics singular. Let's try this again. So this is all the fun troubleshooting. Cool, 20 items. Okay, so that worked. The only other thing is I need to adjust this output format exactly like this. This is cool. Instructions. I'm going to say you must only output the topic list in the below format. Do not include intros or outros. So there's no preamble. And sometimes these systems messed up. It just kind of is what it is. So you like keep an eye on it. And basically, if there's an error, just run it again. Like, you know, it works. It looks like 9 times out of 10, right? It's mostly pretty good. So let's see what happens here. If we can update this in Airtable again. Could not be processed by the servers. To select new option, research. So you can see here. Let's see. Did this create a double quote? So that's sometimes, right? Let me go back in here so we can see this output. Personal development. It said research and development, right? Research and development is here. That makes me wonder, like, do I not have a category for that? Right, so it doesn't look like there's a research and development category. So add like a do not make up topics. Choose up to 5 relevant topics from this list. Do not make up topics, they must come from the list. So lots of weird nuance with these systems. I also think that it's possible, like, you know, if I want to switch from 4.0 mini to 4.0, like we'd probably alleviate some of these errors. Like 4.0 mini, like obviously is a little less robust. Yeah, interesting. Let's see. Research and development. Did I say it could be research and development? Like, did I put that in there? Like, I don't know. Business strategy, personal development, passive income. Yeah, I don't see. So let's just ask. So this prompt sometimes makes up topics that aren't on the list. How do we fix this? And I'm also going to try switching it to 4.0. This uses so few tokens that I don't think it's going to like cost too much to do this. Actually, why don't we use the new 4.1? Or why don't we try 4.1 mini? Maybe it's better. Maybe it's smarter. I haven't really played around with it yet. It's definitely faster. Same issue? Yeah. To create optional leadership. I didn't say anything about leadership. That's so interesting. Like, I'm surprised. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. It was like hallucinating, but no additional text. You must only choose from these exact topics. Okay, if none of these topics seem to fit, select the closest match or matches anyway. Do not create new topics. I'll adjust the prompt. Let's try again. So this is kind of the world of AI automations, right? Like, you always think it's just going to be easy and straightforward and that these systems just work. And the truth is, like, 90% of my life is spent troubleshooting. The systems rarely just like work. They require a lot of maintenance, a lot of finessing. Okay, maybe we were all right. Cool. So that last round seemed to have gone. So cool. Look, we have now all these topics. Let's see if round 2 goes. Next 20. Looks like this is working. I'm pretty stoked on this. Great. I'm happy with this. The system works. I'm going to go ahead and categorize these, and then I'm going to try to throw them together in a nice little app to give everyone access to. I think that'll give people great access to this really valuable resource. I also think it'll create a great lead magnet for me. So it's a win-win. Or if you like The Office, it's a win-win-win. All right. If the stream worked, thanks for watching. I'm going to do this more often next time I'm working on cool projects. I will see you next time. Later.